we would be talking with a man who needs no introduction, not just in Nagpur, not just in Maharashtra, not only in India, all over the world. Any programmer, trust me, would directly or indirectly be inspired by him. This is that man. And this is the book, Let Us See, by Mr. Yashavant Kanetkar. Welcome, sir. Welcome to our podcast. Sir, before we deep dive into your journey, it's a fan moment for me, and I'm very excited. So I would like to have your autograph on this book, sir.
Sure.
If you could please. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So it's very inspiring, and it's very say motivating for me to sit in front of you and to talk with you. I have gone through this book many times. Along with this, I have also that book which was on MCQs on C. It is like that was a Bible for me, not just on C but also on C++.
Test your C skills.
Test your C skills as well as test your C++ skills. I mean, I have read them at least 3 times. First time, let's say I took 10% of it, then 40, then 60. And it's not just me. Let's say people from last 4 decades, they have been reading your books. Even if they haven't read your books, let's say the current generation, they are not reading your books, but I'm very sure they are learning from those who have learned from you. So directly or indirectly, it's all you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for inspiring millions and millions of software developers and software people worldwide.
Yeah, writing
And
books gives you an opportunity to touch many lives.
Yes.
So I've been fortunate in that context.
Yes, agree. Sir, I would like you to give me an introduction from your own, in your own words, right from your childhood. Because many people would be very eager to know about your childhood. They know only about Kanetkar NAC. What I would like to know is that how was your childhood and your journey so far?
Childhood was a little rough. I was not a very good student. I lost my father very early in my life. Once I lost him, I realized the importance of doing well in life. So from there onwards, I became serious about studies and started applying my mind. And I realized that, well, I am not as bad at it as I thought I would be, perhaps. Because I had never tried my hand at studies. I was more keen on playing around all kinds of games. But since I think 8th standard, I became more serious about it. I was blessed with many, many good friends who have gone ahead and made wonderful careers in different streams. Subsequent to schooling in Saraswati Vidyalaya, I moved to Hislop College, which was the college to enter in those days. And there onwards, went on to do my graduation from BJTI Mumbai.
Okay.
And after graduation, I joined a job in escorts because I was very keen on automobiles.
Okay.
And mechanical engineer's dream job used to be in those days in automobiles. And escorts was in Delhi, and we wanted to move away from Mumbai. So me and my hostel room partner joined escorts. But within a week or so, I realized that, well, this is not something that I'm cut out for. And that time we had cleared the gate examination, but had not joined any IIT because we wanted to earn money. I wanted to badly earn money. And once I joined the job and realized that, well, this is not what I would want to do the rest of my life, I decided to come back to Nagpur to start my own business. But I realized that If I do that, in that case, I would perhaps not be able to go back to education. So I decided to first complete my MTech from IIT Kanpur and then move on to Nagpur. In those days, we used to have placement days in IIT Kanpur. So in 3 days, everybody used to get placed.
Okay.
So I wanted to avoid the temptation of joining any job. So just before a day, before the placement days began, I came to Nagpur. And after 4 days, I went back to Kanpur. By that time, everybody else on the campus had a job. I was the only jobless person. So I had no option there onwards. So to avoid the temptation of or having any peer pressure, I decided to move to Nagpur during those placement days so that I should not have the temptation of joining a job.
This is exactly opposite of what is being done now.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, please continue.
I am by training and education a mechanical engineer. So I came here to set up a factory of manufacturing locks. VIP suitcases plant was here. So I thought that it would be a good idea if I can become their local vendor to manufacture those locks. Moreover, locks were sheet metal components, and sheet metal engineering was something that I really liked. Because I learned it from one Mr. Mukherjee from L&T. He used to come to our campus to teach sheet metal engineering. And I got very much interested in it and decided to pursue that career, thinking that I'll set up a factory for manufacturing locks. But unfortunately, on those days, finance was not so easily available. So I had everything ready. I knew what is to be done. I knew how it is to be done. Only question was finance. And I came from a very normal middle class family, which was unable to support me in this venture, which was fine. So I ran really from pillar to post to get a loan. In those days, the condition was that you have to have 25% of the project cost in your bank account. If it is so, then only the bank used to finance.
Okay.
And I had come from Kanpur with only 5,000 rupees in my pocket. So that was just too inadequate. I tried variety of places, variety of banks, then MSFC, trying to arrange the funds for starting this venture. There was one Mr. Sudhakar Gokhale in State Bank of India, Dharampet. And I used to go to him daily saying that, sir, do something for me. I am genuinely interested in this. I really want to set up a factory here. He said that my hands are tied, that I will perhaps not be able to support you. So one fine day when I had gone to his office, he showed me a circular saying that this circular had come yesterday. This says that the government is supposed to give encouragement to all such enterprises which are trying to do something in compute. So he said that if you want to buy computers, I can give you loan. I said, okay, fine, give me. Otherwise, I had no intention of ever trying to do anything in computers. So he gave me the loan. I bought my first PC. And there onwards got interested in, as I started learning, I got interested in programming and the software development part of it. So whatever money I could make out of it, I kept on investing in the same business. And that's how I came into computing. Otherwise, if you ask me, when I graduated or post-graduated, that time, had I ever dreamt of getting into IT? Well, that was never the plan. So I am into IT by accident, I would say, rather than by any intention.
See the effects of accidents, sir. Millions and millions of copies getting sold.
Book writing occurred because I was in Nagpur. Perhaps had I been in Bangalore or any other IT-related place, I would have perhaps never written a book. I came here and in those days I used to teach basic language because that's the only one that I knew. And I used to print notes for the students. And we used to have the carbon paper stationery on which I used to print notes. Those dot matrix printers used to give a very bad performance. As a result, whatever printouts I used to give, it used to take just too much time.
Huh.
And then do the binding and then give one copy to each student. Somehow that copy reached Delhi.
Huh.
And a person approached me from Delhi saying that, are these the notes that you have created? I said, yes. He said that, would you be interested in getting this converted into a book? I thought for a moment and then realized that, well, it would be a good idea. It will save a lot of printing effort on my part.
Huh.
So only intention to get into it was to avoid that printing effort. And he took away the notes. After 6 months, a manuscript came. And I was, a covering letter was there saying that you are supposed to edit this and send it back. So I edited and sent it back. After 4 months, I got 3 copies of my first book, Programming Expertise in Basic. That is how the first book came into existence. And subsequently, in the April next year, I got a check of 4,700 rupees. I still remember. And there was a covering letter saying that this is the royalty for the copies that we have sold for Programming Expertise in Basic. And suddenly a light bulb was blown in my mind. So I realized at that moment that, oh, by writing books, you can even make money. I had absolutely no idea about this. And that is when I took to C language. And the story of learning C language is also quite interesting. There used to be 3 people. I still remember. Sarang Yavalkar, Viraj Fauzdar and Prakash Chopde. These 3 people used to study in YCC. And YCC students used to come to me for learning basic language. And I also used to help them in creating good quality projects. I used to guide them for that. One fine day they came and said that we were trying to do some MSCB billing related system. He said that their guide in the college have disapproved of this project and college wanted that they should do a project in C language. So they came with a request saying that you teach us C language. I said, I don't know it. I mean, there is a question of teaching it. Then they came to me with a book of Dennis Ritchie and Cunningham, the Bible of C programming, as they say. And they said that, sir, आप इसमें से पढ़िए और ये पढ़ के आप हमको सिखाइए. So I had tough time learning that from that book. Somehow I managed it, and they could make use of the language to do their project and submit that project to the university. But C language just caught my eye. I realized that yes, this is something which is really good. And what impressed me most was its brevity and simplicity. So I tried to learn more and more of it. Got a compiler from somewhere, tried to run those programs. And as I started learning it, many more people across the country also got more interested in it. And then I realized that, well, if I am finding difficulty in understanding stuff from Cunningham and Ritchie, I am sure there are very many people who will also face the same difficulty. That's when an idea came to me that why don't we write a book on C programming? So I contacted my publisher. He also liked the idea. And that was at least 3 decades ago. I wrote that book. It really became immensely popular from right from its first edition. And there onwards, my publisher never let me take any rest. Right now, Let Us See is in its 21st edition. And we publish it from 8 different countries. It is translated into multiple languages, including Arabic, Gujarati, Hindi, Korean, Japanese, Russian, Chinese, Singapore Mandarin. So, lots of languages. And we have by now sold close to 3 million copies of it. And it has been on the bestseller list of Amazon for last, I don't know how many years. many years.
That's unbelievable.
We keep updating it every year almost. For example, the new edition that is going to come that has AI aspect as to how that can be exploited through C programming. So whatever new stuff comes along, we try to incorporate that in the book so that it stays current and people remain interested in it.
I'm not very sure, sir, how many people in this world would be thinking AI through C. I really am not very sure. I mean, I don't know how to even associate.
See, for me, language is only means of communication.
Yes,
It's
that is
not an
true.
end in itself. So long as you have a good, reasonable
Command
tool
over that
available for communicating, what you achieve using that means of communication is what is
That
more
is what
important.
is more important.
So language, in my opinion, is only a vehicle.
Yes, that is true.
It could be C, C++, Java, Python, anything. Anything under the sun, really. What is your level of comfort with each one of them decides which tool should you use.
Which tool we should be using. That is correct. Sir, before we get into this programming part, I mean, your programming or computer side of yours, uh, as you said that you lost your father very early, and money was a concern. I mean, money was a concern then for sure. So, how did you manage to not get into the job? You being in IIT and the temptation of getting money, getting a job was very easy. I mean, in those days, if you have that IIT degree, getting a job was like, even today, that is the case. What tempted you to take that risk, come back to Nagpur?
No, I actually wanted to be in Nagpur because I realized after staying in Mumbai for some years, then a couple of months in Delhi when I was in Scots, and subsequently for a couple of years in Kanpur, I realized that, well, I am not at peace in any of those cities.
Hmm.
Whereas in Nagpur, I was completely at peace. I felt that these are where my roots are. This is where I would be able to work comfortably. So I came here basically with the idea of working comfortably and being able to contribute such that I don't have to worry about the basics. I would feel comfortable in the city where I was born. When I go to any of the iconic places in Nagpur, I feel this is what is part of my life. Whereas if you go to San Francisco or New York or Dallas, wherever, you're never a part of that society. You always feel that, oh, I am an outsider here. Same feeling I had when I was in Mumbai, Delhi, Kanpur. So I wanted to put a full stop to that so that you close that chapter and there onwards see what you can contribute.
Yes.
And many people in those days used to say that नागपुर में रह के कुछ हो नहीं सकता है. तो मेरे को देखना था नागपुर में रह के क्या नहीं हो सकता है.
क्या नहीं हो सकता.
ऐसा क्या है कि हम लोग नहीं कर पा रहे. So rather than waiting for somebody to do it, I said, why don't I try myself? Otherwise, from my class of 60 from IIT Kanpur, 59 are in USA.
Okay.
I was the sole person who is left behind here in India. But I'm quite at peace.
Not left behind, sir. You're far ahead.
Not from that sense. I'm at peace, I said.
Okay. But this is just awesome. Coming back to Nagpur, that is a pure Nagpuri guy. Is what I would say. I had also come back with the same sense, and I'm sure there are many more. And as of now, I have seen that many people have been coming to Nagpur, coming back to their roots. There are a few companies as well. They are here in jobs. Plus, that startup ecosystem is also starting to build, and there are pretty good companies. So, an inspiration from this side as well. Amazing, unbelievable. Okay. Then, so even today, mechanical engineers are very bad programmers. When I talk to the college level, I'm not talking about in general, but at college level, mechanical engineers are very bad programmers. Not that they are not able to, but that they are like, ये programming हमसे नहीं हो सकती, ये कंप्यूटर वगैरह हमको नहीं समझ. Even today, that is happening. I mean, they are on their mobiles, they do their stuff, but when it comes to writing the code, they try to stay away from it. How you as a mechanical engineer thought of getting into programming? One thing which you told is like because you are getting money from the banks कि computer मिल जाएगा. Was that the only reason? But वो computer तो आपको मिल गया. But many people have access to computers today. Not everyone codes.
In our engineering, we used to have a language called Fortran 4. And that time I had found it to be quite appealing that programming always tests your logical ability. But we restricted ourselves only to that, thinking that anyway we don't have to do much of it. So it's fine, but that is not our core. We should pursue mechanical engineering. That was the thought.
Standard mechanical approach.
Yeah. But I feel that anybody who enters into computer science from a field which is different than computer science ends up becoming a better programmer.
Yes.
I feel so because even today, if there is a group of, let's say, 40, 45 people sitting in a room discussing something which is quite intricate and related to the core computer science, at the end of those 45 minutes, I feel quite comfortable to raise my hand and say that, well, I didn't understand anything about what you said. Because that's not my field. My basic education and training is different. Whereas the computer science person always hesitates to say that because he's supposed to know.
Yes.
That's what the society or the peers expect.
Yes.
So ability to say that we have not understood something is the time from where your progress begins.
Okay.
So I have gone to so many places where I said this, that, well, I didn't understand. Can you repeat? Can you explain me? Can you help me with this? So when you start seeking help, when you start saying that I have not understood, there are so many people who are willing to help.
Yes.
But many people try to hide that fact. And that is a nemesis for them because their progress halts there.
Yes.
Once you start accepting that, ultimately nobody is able to understand everything.
Yes, true.
So at some point, if you say that, okay, let's discuss this, let's understand this, let's do a second round, second iteration, people are quite willing to do that.
Yes.
That is why I find that very many people who come from a different background have this ability to say that they are not understood, hence have made much more progress than a normal computer science guy.
Yes, that is true.
And when you go to computer science from a different field, you are more or less self-taught. Because after doing post-graduation from IIT Kanpur, I had absolutely no intention to join a diploma or a degree for computer science. So I had to learn only from books. Those were the only companions. Those were the only guides available to me. And when you do self-learning, you always learn from your mistakes. And when you learn from your mistake, you never forget the mistake that you have made.
Yes.
Whereas people who are from core computer science from very first year, they start doing computer science stuff. So perhaps they are not as good as a person who is coming to the computer science field from a different avenue, having learned from his mistakes. So I think learning from mistakes is something that always stays with you.
Learning from mistakes, in my opinion, we tend to not repeat those mistakes.
Correct.
If we learn from our mistakes. That is, yes, that is absolutely true. Sir, on a fun note, when we were studying, we had heard a lot of rumors about you. But before I tell you about the rumors which we had then, have you heard any rumors about this?
Oh, lots of them.
We would like to know them from.
Somebody says that I have wound up my business and have shifted to Dubai. Somebody says that, well, he's working for Microsoft now. He has shut down his business. Maybe the competitors are spreading these rumors, but I'm least bothered about that. Because I have a very strong belief in a very small sentence. Sentence is class will out. If you have class, it can never go unnoticed. Some point or the other, it will definitely come out. People will recognize it. So, as a good engineer, every engineer should aspire to become as classy as he can. Because so long as he knows his stuff well, recognition, etc., will come on its own. I mean, whereas if you keep looking at recognition, that will perhaps never come because you are chasing a dream by not focusing on it. Lots of such rumors have been there. But I mean, that's part of the game.
I'll tell you the rumors from our college days. नया चेस का गेम आया, ये तो कानेटकर ने बनाया. नया कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर, इसमें जरूर कानेटकर का हाथ है. Then one very famous rumor was Windows down है, कानेटकर का वायरस है. I guess there was some.
Perhaps because we were running a course that time, the title of the course was Writing Vaccines Removing Viruses.
Okay.
So we had done a lot of experimentation there. I used to tell people how people write viruses, though it was that time and even now a punishable crime to teach how to write a virus. So we never did that, but I knew how to do it. And we were more focused on its removal by creating this antivirus. We created an antiviral software called ComGuard, and I don't know, we have sold lots and lots of copies in those days. There onwards, competition grew, and we moved out of that. Okay. But otherwise, it was one subject that was quite interesting to me, and the way I got into it is also quite funny. There was a lady who used to work with us. Name is Kritika Venkatraman. Kritika Venkatraman. Some time back, she was head of Asia Pacific Facebook. She was the first employee of Asia Pacific Facebook.
Okay.
So she headed lots of initiatives from Facebook. Then she moved on, of course. But when she used to work here, she was a very frank lady. One day she came and asked me, "Sir, how good a C programmer you are?" I told her that I must not be bad. She said, "Can you write a virus for me?" I said, "No, Kirti, it's a punishable crime. We will not do that. I will not get into it. You also should not get into it." She immediately said, "It means you are a bad C programmer." I said, if you are challenging me, then in that case, let's attempt to write one. Because if I get into trouble, I'll make sure that you also get into trouble. And after a lot of iterations, understanding of a lot of assembly language stuff, we were able to create one. And whatever antiviral softwares were there around that time, none of them was able to pick it. None of them was able to cure it. Then we realized that if you have to convert this into a business idea, we have to look at it from the other angle. And that's when we created that antiviral software.
Okay.
So let us see, you will find perhaps Kirtika's name, because she also helped me in writing some part of it, some exercises part of it.
Okay. Okay. Again, one rumor was computer crash hua. Kanetkar. Or else, even in our times, I mean, in your times, it was altogether very early stage. Even in our times, if I say that, yes, I am a computer engineer, people used to come with me with their computers. इसको सुधार के दे. And I said कि यार मैं सॉफ्टवेयर करता हूँ. वो हमको नहीं पता. Hey, ये पेचकस ले. ये. So that used to be.
Yeah.
So in your times, did you face any such incidences?
Not really. Not that comes to my mind.
But there were very few computers only.
Very few computers. The initial computers, PCs that I bought, they were from Wipro. They were pretty rugged machines, so I didn't face much of a hardware problem. And by the time PCs became cheap, so many service vendors also became available. So I didn't have to dabble my hands with hardware, fortunately.
Maybe somebody would have posed some challenge, then probably you would have gone into that field as well.
I had an intention of creating a course in those days saying build your own PC. But somehow didn't appeal to me and the idea just went away. Otherwise, I had that idea of creating such a course. Because in those days, people used to assemble and not know as to how it is to be done, what choices are to be made. I had that idea, but somehow I didn't pursue it further.
Okay. I also remember, I mean, I have a vague memory somewhere that you also had a CD of data structures where you had explained data structures graphically. I mean, that was a big thing in that time. Nowadays, it's very easy to do because of the tools and stuff available. I remember the linked list moving or something of that sort. I don't remember it exactly. But yes, that was...
Yeah. That time what we had done was we had decided to come with a series of books. We used to call it as Fundas series. So we had data structure fundas, we had XML fundas, we had game programming fundas. And in those days, we had one very good employee. Name is Nandgirwar. He's perhaps one of the best graphics men that I have seen. He was just ahead of the time. He knew all this animation stuff very well. So for this series, all these data structure videos that you are mentioning, He had created them using some Dreamweaver or some software used to be there. He had created them. I used to just give him the idea as to what is it that I want, and he is the one who used to create those videos. Uh, in game programming, fundas, in those days there used to be first version of Kaun Banega Crorepati. So we had created something which is exactly resembling Kaun Banega Crorepati, that fastest fingers first. We had created all those devices, all that music, graphics, and in that DirectX game programming fundas, the last chapter was Kaun Banega Crorepati.
Oh, okay.
We had explained the code using DirectX. How do you go about building such software? So game programming is something which fascinated me a lot. That's when we created that DirectX game programming fundas.
So how about creating a game that teaches people programming?
There is a company in US, name is Cluspert.
Okay.
Cluspert has come up with the idea saying that all programming is to be taught using projects. So there is one course that I have created for them where we had taken a garage parking problem where we have lots of parking lots and the software for implementing that through C++. So everything begins with the problem definition, and then we start slowly teaching concepts which will finally fit into the solution. So throughout the course, it is all about garage. How do you go about building that parking lot? That we have done through C++. Their next request is, why don't we do game programming also in this manner? So I am just thinking about that idea as to which game should I pick up, where most of the aspects of game programming I would be able to cover. And by the end of the course, they would actually be able to have a game created by themselves by using the different features of the language.
So we would be amazed to know. Please let me know if you need any help from me. I have a good team here, and I'll be able to help.
Certainly.
For sure. And one thing which, I mean, the idea which I just said that, how about if we teach programming via games? Because nowadays,
I thought you were talking about game programming.
No. The idea is like, if we teach programming to the students via games, probably that coding would be much more acceptable, because today is a 30-second generation.
People have started doing that already. If you look at CBSE 11th and 12th syllabus, their Python is taught in this manner.
Okay.
So we are right now building a book for a Dubai-based company where we have taught Python using games.
Oh, okay. So you are already into that.
But it will take time. I mean,
yes.
To see the light of the day, I think it's at least 6 months away.
Okay. But I mean, we'll be happy to see. And I'm very sure people would learn it fast, because what fascinates me about Let Us See is that it is very simple to understand. The English, even though it is in English, but it is very, very simple to understand as compared to if you go and read Dennis Ritchie and Burning. I mean, those are difficult. The language is difficult.
Correct.
I have read both the books, but when I first tried to read Dennis Ritchie, I was not able to. But then I read Let Us See first, and then I went to that. It was probably much easier. I mean, understanding was much easier.
I'll tell you one very funny incident. Once I was at IIT Kanpur about 7-8 years ago. There was an award that was given to 50 top IITians in the last 50 years of IIT Kanpur. So I happened to be one of them. So they had arranged a award ceremony. I had gone there, and one of the awardees was Professor S. Divakar from MIT, Artificial Intelligence Lab. So somebody came and told me during that function that Divakar is searching for you. I of course knew him. So I went to him. First question that he asked me is, do you know how much is 3 million? I said, yes, but what is the context? He said that I have seen, let us see, on the cover it is written that more than 3 million copies sold. It will be a huge number. I said, yes. he said that he has written a book for which he sold 10,000 copies last year. So I said that I am addressing the bottom of the pyramid. So C programming, everybody needs to learn. That is why perhaps my numbers are better. He said, what is special about one of your book? Let us see. Can you tell me in one line? I thought over that question for a moment and said, I think what attracts people to let us see is its simplicity. It is very simple. Whatever problems I face, I have given solutions to those problems in that book. So, assuming that nobody has ever done any programming beforehand, if we begin from that step and take him to a level where he is really proud of his programming ability, in that journey, if let us see helps, he usually likes it. And there are so many people whom I keep meeting at so many different places who keep telling that, sir, मेरे रैक में अभी भी वो रखा हुआ है.
I have one at home. it's probably few pages might be torn, but I'll give it to my son.
पहले 5वें एडिशन के ऊपर सिग्नेचर लेने आते, 6वें एडिशन, वो तो अभी 15-20 साल हो गए.
Even we had one in the office before buying this one. I said, यार उस पे लेंगे. But that was in a very bad condition. So
एक बार ये बोइंग कंपनी है ना, बोइंग का कंपनी का MRO निकला, मुंबई में था ही, नागपुर में निकलने वाला था. I don't know what is the state. So their general manager of Air India called Sridharan, he made a phone call saying that I want to do some programming for a Boeing aircraft. Can you help me? I said, yes, I mean, that is interesting. I don't mind trying my hand. He said, no, some company from Israel and Belgium, they have already run away. The work that we allotted, they were unable to complete. So can you do it? I said, I'll have to take a look before making any commitment. So we went to Mumbai, tried to understand what is their requirement. And I realized that there is a protocol called ARINC protocol, which is used in all Boeing aircraft. So having looked at it, we realized that yes, this seems to be doable. He said that, do you have any past experience in it? We told him, no, this is something that we are doing for the very first time. So he gave us a sample project. In 1 month, we could do a good solution for it. And there onwards, he kept on giving many, many projects. So we have done a lot of work for Boeing aircrafts. During one of the meetings, I asked him, how come you approached us? He said that all this programming I used to do. I used to lead a team and I used to do that programming. And it involves a lot of bitwise operators. And I had learned bitwise operators from Let Us See. So I thought that from where I learned, if I contact that author, he would perhaps be able to do. That is how he contacted us.
Good way, so, good way of getting the projects without any marketplace. Amazing, amazing, sir. Sir, let's play a small game. The game is like I'll tell you a word, and you just tell me what comes to your mind. So, name of that game is what comes to your mind.
Oh,
right. So, very first word, mentor.
Sadguban sir. IIIT Bangalore. He's my mentor.
Okay. Yeah. So that is what is expected in this. Then IoT.
Something that didn't happen or didn't live up to its expectation.
Okay. Blockchain.
Lost its race.
I mean, I haven't seen good implementations of blockchain. Even
a lot of regulatory things came in, so
yes,
perhaps that is the reason why it didn't pick up so much.
AI?
It's a dinosaur which was sleeping for last 25 years because when we graduated, AI was the stuff in which people used to work. For 25 years, it was dormant because there wasn't enough compute power, there wasn't enough data. Now, every swipe, you are generating data. And even on PCs and mobiles, you have so much computing power. So suddenly it has come back because computing power is more and a lot of data is available.
Yes.
AI needs a lot of data.
Yes.
To turn that data, you need compute. So compute and data both are there. That is why it has come back. Okay. Otherwise, it was lying dormant for the last 25 years.
Yes. Yes. Then, favorite sportsman?
Rahul Dravid.
Okay. He also had some roots in Nagpur.
Yeah, yeah,
not,
roots in Nagpur.
not exact roots, but yes.
Yeah. His wife
his
is
wife
from Nagpur.
is from
Yeah.
Nagpur.
Rahul Dravid because of his systematicness. Systematic about everything. It's not only that his game is systematic, his behavior is systematic, his talk is systematic, and he's a no-nonsense person. Never flamboyant, very down to earth, and that is how I would have liked myself to be. So I aspire to be a person like Rahul.
Like Rahul Dravid. Okay, that is great. Favorite singer?
Favorite singer, not much into singing, but lot into poetry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you ask me poetry, even within poetry, the genre that I like is वीर रस की कविता हिंदी.
Okay.
उसमें सबसे बड़ा नाम है हरिओम पवार.
अच्छा. Okay.
कभी मौका पड़ेगा तो सुनाऊंगा आपको. अदरवाइज बहुत सी कविताएं मेरे को जबानी याद है.
if you know when, maybe we can.
कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं है उसका, फिर भी बोल देता हूँ हरिओम पवार को सलाम करके. उनकी एक कविता, उसका नाम है कश्मीर का दर्द. मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब. कविता इसी बहुत लंबी है, जबानी याद है मेरे को, पर कुछ दो एक स्टांजा आपको सुनाता हूँ.
प्लीज प्लीज.
ये पाकिस्तानी गालों पर दिल्ली के चाटे होते, ये पाकिस्तानी गालों पर दिल्ली के चाटे होते, अगर हमने दो के बदले में 20 शीश काटे होते. बार बार दुनिया कह के हम ना शर्मिंदा होते और हमारे 20 सैनिक पूरी में जिंदा होते. ये कैसा परिवर्तन है, ये कैसा परिवर्तन है. खुददारी के आचरणों में सेना का सम्मान पड़ा है चरमपंथ के चरणों में. किसका खून नहीं खौलेगा सुनकर पड़ा अखबारों में, सिंगों की गर्दन कटवा दी चूहों के दरबारों में. जैसे कोई ताल तलैया गंगा यमुना को डांटे, जैसे कोई ताल तलैया गंगा यमुना को डांटे, 4 तमंचे मार रहे थे एटम के मुंह पे चाटे. जैसे कोई एक समुंदर चुल्लू भर गंगा जल मांगे, ऐसे घुटने टेक रहा था सूरज जुगनू के आगे. हर संकट का हल मत पूछो, हर संकट का हल मत पूछो, आसमान के तारों से सूरज किरणें कब लेता है नपके चांद सितारों से. बार बार की गद्दारी ये भारत क्यों सह जाता है, ज्यादा संयम भी दुनिया में कायरता कहलाता है. जब सिंहासन का राजा ही कायर दिखने लगता है, तो पूरा मौसम हत्यारा डायर दिखने लगता है. पांचाली के चीरहरण पर जो चुप पाए जाएंगे, इतिहासों के पन्नों में वो सब कायर कहलाएंगे. बहुत लंबी है कविता.
But amazing, sir. And the way you performed is, I mean, yes, that is awesome. For viewers, I would also like to tell, I mean, I am sitting in sir's room here, and everywhere I am seeing paintings which have been done by sir. So sir is also a good painter, probably the hidden talent of a programmer, of a base programmer. So
मैं चाहता हूँ कि बहुत कुछ ट्राई करें, क्योंकि पता तो लगे अपने में हुनर कौन सा छुपा हुआ है.
Yes, why not?
So there is no harm in trying.
No, absolutely not.
There is a friend of mine. He is a gastroenterologist by profession. Name is Dr. Prashant Bhandarkar. He is from medicine. I am from engineering, but we are friends since KG1. So friendship of last 40-45 years. Once we met at a marriage reception, I invited him to my office saying that come over, we'll have a chat. He came over, we discussed everything under the sun. And then he said that देख तेरे को मेरा कोई फायदा नहीं, मेरे को तेरा कोई फायदा नहीं, हम साथ में कुछ कर नहीं सकते क्या. बहुत सोचा हम लोगों ने. फिर मैंने उसको बोला प्रशांत हम लोग एक नॉवेल लिख सकते हैं. बोले पागल है, तू कभी लिखा है? मैंने नहीं, कभी भी नहीं लिखा. बोले तू तेरे को लगता है अपन लिख पाएंगे? मतलब करके नहीं देखेंगे तब तक तो बोल भी नहीं पाएगा. So what is the harm in trying? So he kept coming and we kept discussing. Some plot evolved, and when we realized that yes, this is perhaps doable. He being a doctor, he used to come late after his OPD. His mobile phone is to ring every now and then. So we said that let's keep our phones here. Let's go to some place where there is nobody to disturb us. So we booked the resort, went there, stayed for a couple of days, evolved the idea, wrote a chapter each, read it for one another, and we realized that yes, this is perhaps doable. We came back, and for a year we kept on writing stuff, kept on revising it. It took lot of time, but finally we came up with the novel. It was published a couple of years ago. Name of the novel is Triple Negative.
Triple Negative. Okay.
Triple Negative is the name of a breast cancer that is quite prevalent in India. So the story views around that.
Okay.
So
Is it published?
it has been published.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
has been published, available everywhere. And we are trying to contact the producers to see whether we can convert it into a web series.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Perhaps it might not see the light of the day, but my basic motive behind doing everything is that there is no harm in trying.
Yes.
You never know what skill you may have which is hidden and might come out and
Sir, the world should know that a web series is coming forth.
I don't know. I don't know. Two people have already rejected it, so that's okay.
No, but that is fine. I mean, rejections are always a part for the first time doers.
Yes.
Okay, that is awesome, sir. A different side of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally different side of you. Okay, sir. One question which I was very curious to ask you as well, especially Nagpur, or not just Nagpur, India as a whole. We don't see too many product companies here. We see a lot of service-based companies. What might be the reason? Because we have loads and loads of talent here. So are we falling short in marketing, or don't we have ideas? But ideas come daily, on a daily basis. There is a new idea. So what might be lagging?
Two reasons perhaps. When you set up a product company, chances of failure are very high.
Mhm.
So people are worried about that
Mhm.
because it involves a lot of upfront capital. You are investing into an idea which you do not know perhaps whether it will work out, it will not work out. Whereas for service-based companies, you start billing the client right from day one.
Hmm.
So whether the product is successful or not, your end of the bargain is ensured.
Hmm.
Whereas with product company, it is not so. Second, perhaps the reason is service companies trying to do a product.
Hmm.
The culture is quite different.
Hmm.
So most of the times this fails.
Hmm.
If you remember, before Tally, TCS had come up with an accounting software.
Hmm.
I don't remember the name, but in one of the CSI exhibitions I saw it. And they had set up almost 100 machines where the software was there for people to try their hand at. I think it was accountant or something.
Mhm.
But it flopped. Nobody even knows about it today.
Huh.
Whereas Tally, which kept on concentrating on the same product over the years, really rules the roost. Almost every office worth its name has
Yes.
Tally software in it. So if you focus on the product and not get into services, then perhaps there are better chances of products becoming
Surviving.
successful. Because you know that if this doesn't do well, then I have nothing to go back to.
Hmm.
है ना, आप जैसे रस्सी काट के आते हो
हाँ.
तो आप
All in.
पूरी जान लगा
Go
देते हो.
all in.
So that is perhaps the reason why. But of late, people have started doing that. And now that the startup ecosystem, etc., is in place, capital is available, so long as your idea is good.
Mhm.
Perhaps over a decade or so,
We might see some
good product
Facebooks or
companies.
Googles coming.
Otherwise, it's really disturbing when you realize that you have millions of software developers here, but there is not one product that Indians have created which is used all over the world.
Not a single. That is what I was amazed. And, I am also trying to find a reason, but I don't know. I mean, everybody knows the idea, and Facebook is a simple product, or WhatsApp is a simple product. Yes, technology is there. Yes, everything is there, but the way
Product always takes a lot of patience.
Yes.
Even we look at a book as a product, which a retailer sells and students and software developers make use of. For last 3 decades, there is hardly any new author who is coming up writing technical books. Hardly any. One Vijay Mukhi used to be there from Mumbai. We have lost him. And there is one gentleman from Chennai. I don't remember the name right now. Balguru Swami.
Balguru Swami. Yes, we have read his books as well.
Two, three people are trying to be in that space, and not many people, new people are not coming. Perhaps because book writing needs a lot of patience to churn out something which is tangible, readable, and 500-page long. Needs a lot of patience.
Yes, it does.
So creating a product needs patience. Be it a book, be it a video, be it whatever. Short videos, there are plenty of them.
Yes.
Why? Because it doesn't need that much patience.
Yes.
But if you try to find out, is there one good exhaustive course on, let's say, AI in finance? There isn't. There are very basic kind of courses. I was looking up some courses in this area the other day. I found that there is hardly. It means what? There is space.
Yes.
For newcomers to get into that and fill that space.
Yes. Yes. So, product idea. Okay. Have you met Balaguru Swami, sir?
No, unfortunately.
You
Never
haven't.
had a chance.
Because these two books used to be in competition,
Yeah.
especially the C++ ones.
Yeah.
I remember having both of them in my shelf.
Vijay Mukhi I have met. That was in Tokyo. His book was getting released, Tokyo Japanese edition, and Let Us See also was being released in
Okay.
Japan. So in Tokyo we had met. But unfortunately, after that, in a couple of years,
He passed.
he passed away.
Out. So, sir, to conclude, what advice would you like to give to students, then to startup aspirants, right, and to say Nagpur ecosystem in general? Maybe one by one, that would do.
To students, I would suggest that they should stay focused, because giving advice is really a difficult thing. I mean, I never advise others. I can share experiences. If people can get inspired from that, that's their thing. Staying focused is very important. For students, I would suggest that. For software developers, try something of your own. If you have any idea, give it your entire effort and see whether it can fructify. If it doesn't fructify, you can anyway go back to job. There is never a dearth of jobs for good people. And for Nagpurians, see what you can do by staying here. Because I very sincerely feel that if our lot has to improve, nobody from outside is going to do that. It has to be somebody from Nagpur. TCS cannot come here and set up a shop and make sure that the economy grows and a lot of people get employment. They are outsiders ultimately. Infosys cannot do that. Tech Mahindra cannot do that. Or in any other sector, automobile or whatever. Outsiders cannot do that. There has to be somebody from here who makes it big. Solar industries is one which has really become big due to technology. SMS infrastructure is another that I see. So people have started doing that. Somebody from here, when he makes it big, I think that's when people start believing that yes, if he can do it, why not me?
Why not me?
So ultimately, you need iconic figures in the city for young people to look at them and say that yes, I want to become like him. And he's from my background, my roots, everything else is same. He made some good effort. That is why he is where he is. So let me also give my best shot and see where it leads me. And that is what I feel.
Sir, it was wonderful, wonderful talking with you. I'm sure we'll have many such sessions.
Yeah.
And please come to our office as well, sir.
Sure.
Right, we'll invite you. And thank you so much.
One of these days.
Yes.
Yeah, pleasure is
Thank you
mine.